Spaced Out Radio. I will get to your questions and comments in there as well. Now, for $5 a month, you can become a member of the SOR Space Travelers Club on our website. Shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. Read the encounter online. You can check out my latest blog. If you've had a sighting you can't explain, fill out an SOR Sightlines report. And we got great videos from UFO seekers at Contact TV and so much more. The spiritual realm is full of mystery, especially when it comes to different dimensions. First dimension, second dimension, third, fourth, fifth, sixth dimension. Hell, Sammy Hagar has said publicly that he's been in touch with beings from the seventh and ninth dimensions. Is this even possible, even though it's so unbelievable? If so, why or what are there so many dimensions for? Intuitive and award-winning author and poet Corrine DeWinter from purpleplates.com is here to break it all down for us. Corrine has studiously been learning about her own spirituality and the dimensions behind it for the last number of years, so we're going to see where this goes. The beautiful and talented Corrine DeWinter, my favorite poet in the world. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Dave?
I am doing just fine. As you saw earlier, I'm having a perfect hair day today, so... Oh, my goodness. You know, I woke up to 2.5 inches of snow this morning. So I'm still a little bit, not ready for it. I knew it was coming. It always happens. Didn't expect it this early. But here it is, and there's snow on the ground. And I'm sitting here thinking, do I really want to get my snowblower and my shovel all ready this early? I don't have a choice. Don't have a choice.
No, you don't.
So not like those southerners who are still having like 90-degree days. It's terrible. Terrible. So we're bringing you in tonight to talk a little bit about spirituality, dimensions, and everything that you have learned over the last couple of years. And the reason why I like talking to you about this is you are someone who is, lack of a better term, you're not a know-it-all. You're learning as you go, and you're passing on the lessons that you have learned to people as you've gone on. Why have you decided over the last number of years, Corrine, to really investigate and learn about your own spirituality?
Well, I've always been interested in the supernatural and, all the paranormal events that happen that I've seen, films of and read about for many years. And then, Dave, I realized also it is just as important to delve inside of myself as it was to learn things on the outside. So I think I have told you this before, that the death of my mother and friends, and then of course my dad, really brought me to the forefront of learning my own spirituality, and it's an everyday thing for me now. It's very important to me. So, that's the short answer.
Well, it is important that everybody tries to learn a little bit about themselves. And I realize the effect that your parents passing really had an effect on you and wanting to know what it's like on the other side, and can you communicate. Did you always have this affliction to want to learn, or was it something that really started burning inside of you to learn after your parents passed?
Yes. Like I said, I've been into this since I was a little girl, really. But really it kicked off strongly when my mom passed away. And I just needed to know that she was okay, and and had to find real proof that she was still alive. So I did find that proof thanks to my medium, my awesome medium, Renee Richards. It's just, but it's like you said earlier, it's a daily learning experience, as it is for all of us. And I think the sooner we get on board with learning, and going inward, the better off we will all be, and so will the planet.
Well, and I understand that, but there are so many people out there who maybe do not understand spirituality or even to figure out where that road to go down that path even is anymore. I mean, they may have had something happen in their youth, or maybe they haven't, and it's something that they are looking into now as we all start to age and get to that point of mortality and realize that, we are not going to be here forever. So, along with buying life insurance policies, we're buying into the fact of learning about our own spirituality to see what's there. So do you find when you are dealing with people or having conversations with people about spirituality that, there is a definite and genuine interest that people have in learning about this?
Yes, I think that, okay, let me just say this, that it doesn't matter what path you are on a path. I mean, everyone is on a path, and there is no wrong path. If you choose not to go inward and discover your soul's purpose or something like that, that's absolutely fine. But I do feel like, I'd say, Dave, 50-50. And when I meet people and I talk about this kind of thing, about 50% will say, oh, they'll look the other way and kind of walk away, or they don't want to talk about it. Because a lot of people are scared of it, they just want to know their normal everyday life. They don't want to, seek outward at all or inward. But I think the other 50% are really searching. They want to know that our lives have meaning and purpose. And as I said, I think that all of our lives have meaning and purpose, no matter if you are, whatever shape you're in, whatever position you're in life, you have meaning and purpose. And I just wish that more people would realize that they have more power than they realize. And everyone is a light in the world. And let's just get it together. Let's all get together and realize our full potential. So I don't really want to admonish anyone for not getting on board with it, but it does get a little bit frustrating at times, as you know.
No, I can understand that, but do you believe that a lot of society is ready to learn that? I mean, there is so much going on in people's everyday lives. We could sit here and say you have to meditate for 30 minutes. You should really investigate your own self-worth and self-value, which is something that I have been doing over the last number of months, and I can tell you right now, it is extremely difficult to do. When you have the time to do it. But for those who don't have the time, because there's bills to pay, there's pets to take care of, there's children to take care of if you have children, there's always something going on. Never mind the fact that, most of our time now is spent staring at a phone, tablet, or computer, whether it's working or Facebook or any other sorts of social media to get our interest. There's very little time to relax and actually sit down and learn because we've made ourselves so busy.
Right, which I think is bullshit. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to swear.
No, good catch. Good catch. And here I thought we were going to have to start the swear jar early. We can use the term BS.
BS. I think that's BS. I think that we all have time to learn, okay? Don't tell me that you don't spend at least a couple hours a day doing something kind of ridiculous. And I don't want to say ridiculous, but watching TV, looking at your phone, hanging on Facebook. We all have time to learn.
I don't know about that. I really don't know about that, Corrine. And I'm not trying to nitpick or be spiteful here, but life has become a 24/7 type game. I mean, a lot of people don't have time to sleep, let alone, try and find themselves spiritually.
Well, let me ask you, Dave, what did you do today? Was every hour spent trying to fulfill your, choices or someone else's? Could you have carved out 2 hours
Oh,
to work?
good question. Good question. Let's see. Today I woke up. I had a bowl of Fruit Loops and an orange because I like my Fruit Loops. Let's see. After that, I went to work on the show because we're planning December. And then I decided this afternoon that I would pick up my guitar and take a 1-hour guitar lesson. And from there, parenthood gets in the way. Work gets in the way. So could I have found the time? Yes, but for someone like me, when you have a 4-year-old running around the house, it's kind of difficult to find 10 minutes of your own time. Hell, even when I shower, he's in there with me playing toys. So that's just the way it is. It's very difficult to find time, and when you do find time, you're so exhausted from what you were doing that Bazooka Joe says in the chat room, probably woke up at noon. I woke up at 10 this morning. 10 this morning.
That's early.
For me, yes, especially recently.
Me too.
But there's a lot that I had to do, and by the time I'm done everything, I'm mentally exhausted, and literally I just want to go sit on my couch and chill.
And chill. So what is chilling to you?
Normally, what I will do is I will put something on YouTube. I will watch YouTube videos that make me feel good. I like seeing people happy. So, what I do in order to kind of bring up my mood, because very well I suffer from depression and anxiety, and it's something that I struggle with, and today was a bad day for me with it. So what I end up doing is I end up going on YouTube, and I will watch videos of people becoming happy. If you've never had, and I'll mention this to a number of people, make fun of me all you want. Really, I don't give a care. But if you've never gone on YouTube and watched videos of soldiers coming home to their family, or watched videos of people who are colorblind seeing for the first time colors, or deaf people hearing for the first time with a cochlear implant, watch those videos, man. They are powerful. They are very, very powerful. So when I start to get down, I watch something like that, or old people falling or children falling, because that makes me laugh. But, there's something that always, that I'm trying to do, and I meant that facetiously, the last part, but there's something that I'm always trying to do in order to keep myself up, because if I'm not up, I'm down. And if I'm down, it is nasty. It is absolutely nasty. I had to deal with one business part. We had to change over our YouTube channel today for the show. I pretty much lost all of my archives, 600 shows worth.
Oh, darn it. Right.
So tonight will be night number 1 on our brand new YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. We've had to, I've dealt with some personal stuff with my daughter and her mother today, which is very, very stressful. And, you have to find that way to get back up. You have no choice. So what I do is, when I'm feeling the way I'm feeling right now, I know after this show I'll probably go lie in bed and I will be watching videos to try and bring my energy back up by watching people get happy.
Right. So you're fighting yourself. You're fighting something in you that we call depression. You call depression. So you're spending a lot of energy fighting the depression.
It's always a fight. Like. Yeah, but it's always a fight, Corrine. It's not just me. Take the picture off of me. but there's a lot of people right now who are fighting it. There's a lot, and it's not just depression, it's not just anxiety, it's finances, it's children on drugs and alcohol, it's stress from family, stress from exes and ex-partners, it's work stress of being bullied or continually berated and put down. I mean, this is everyday life for people. We've become such a callous society.
Right. It's true. But that doesn't have to be your world either, like
I mean, agree.
Okay, I'm not like, I also suffer from panic disorder like you. And I remember long ago someone told me, if you don't try to treat it with something or try to, correct it, it's going to eat up parts of your life. And it did. It started to, everything I did, I would get panicky and I couldn't do it. And, but I mean, Dave, you're not one of those people that I meet sometimes, or that I actually know a few of them that are just like stuck in this black hole. And they wouldn't call it depression, but they see everything as the world is against them.
Oh, I'm like that. I am totally like that. See, the beautiful part of having a show like this, and I hate you for this right now because I know what you're doing and I don't like it because I always open up when I chat with you. I hate that. Damn you.
Tell me,
damn you. Exactly. Thanks, Oprah. But the whole point is, there are a lot of people out there, Corrine, who absolutely fight it every day. They fight it every day, and it doesn't matter if it's depression or anxiety or that black cloud that we always hear or that is over people. Hey, if finding your own spirituality works, and at times it has worked for me, I'm okay with that. I'm very much okay with that. But what we need to do is we need to absolutely get people to understand how important it is to be cognizant of what you are feeling and investigate and take the time to investigate what you are going through, because it may not be what you think it is. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is. For instance, I know it's like, it's easy for me on the outside because I've never really been depressed. I don't know if I'm I don't know why, but like I always have something to cackle about. But I mean, what I'm saying is that you can get outside of that, that darkness that you feel. And I'm not saying with drugs or anything like that. I'm saying with your own mind, Dave, because you got there from your mind. Your mind can free you from that as well. Now, I can't sit here and give you the directions on how to let go of all that, but I think there are some things you could incorporate in your life to lessen that darkness.
Okay, so taking it away from me, because Bazooka Joe made a nice comment in Spreaker. He says, I have told Dave many times how much he helped so many people with the show and how that should make him feel good. Oh, it does. It absolutely does. But there still comes the darkness of what it's not so much like, for instance, I'll explain it to a lot of people. I live two different lives, okay? I live two different lives. I have the side that is Dave Scott, that you all know, confident, always energetic, feeling good, ready for a good convo, loves his aliens, and so on. But there's a reality to it, too. It's the stress of starting a business, the stress of, having a broken home. My daughter lives 300 miles away from me, and I don't know what the hell she's up to. There's a lot of things that we go through on a daily basis, I've always, believe it or not, even in radio, guys, even in radio, Back when I worked in Vancouver, I was told I wasn't good enough. And I was told that I was a terrible reporter.
What?
Yeah. So I would file between 6 to 10 stories a day for sports. Our news team, they would have a maximum of 3 to 4 that they had to do, but I was told I was never good enough to do what I was doing. I can prove that.
Wow.
But the whole thing is, there are a lot of people out there who, Corrine, they go to take 2 steps forward, and they're confident in taking those 2 steps forward, but in reality, they're getting kicked 5, 6 steps back. It might be a text message. It might be a phone call, an email, a post on Facebook or Twitter, or just something from the wrong person that just always seems to happen. Like I can tell you right now, every time I get on a high, I know that my ex-wife is going to send me that text message. I know it. I know it's coming. And sure enough, it arrived tonight. So but this isn't about me, okay? I don't want this to be about me. This isn't cool, okay? This is about people in that situation, because I'm not the only one. I am not the only one. Everyone has their issues. And the key, Corrine, that we need to do is we need to get people to listen and learn that they do have value, that they do have the ability to change themselves, and maybe that's looking from within rather than looking on the outside of society, whether it's work, whether it's friends, whether it's church, whether it's anything. They need to start looking at themselves inside, correct?
Yes. It's true. I always say, because, Dave, I know a lot of people that are wealthy, and I always say the more, and it seems that this is a truism, the more you have on the outside, the less you have on the inside. Now, I don't know if I'm just saying that because it makes me feel better because I'm not wealthy.
I will disagree with you there. I will disagree with you there. When I was making very good money, I was at my happiest. Seriously. I didn't have a care in the world.
Okay.
So I don't think I think that statement's wrong. I mean, some people may be hollow, especially if they've grown into it, because they don't know anything. And I worked for a man who was like that, and he even admitted that he knew he had never had a job before. He inherited dad's company. Right? He never had to pay bills, credit card bills, or anything along, right, or even a vehicle. He's never owned a vehicle because, his dad owned a car lot. So right, he would just go pick up a car. If he totaled off a Corvette or a Viper or a Mustang, didn't matter. Didn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay. So when you were making a lot of money, I want you to think back to that time and tell me, at that time in your life, did you really have peace in your mind and in your heart?
The honest answer?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you go to the bank and you pay your mortgage and you still have a couple $1,000s left over in your bank account,
mm-hmm, that
feels good. No, but seriously, I can tell you exactly the day that my life changed. I could tell you all exactly the day my life changed. It was June 24th, 2013. The day after my son was born, and a lot of people have that specific day that something great happens to them, and then within days, and mine happened to be one day, everything started to sink, and I have not been able to dig out of that yet. And it's funny, okay, and it's funny here. I will say this, Corrine, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I'm curious to get your opinion of this. But the more I have delved into this realm of spirituality, of paranormal, ghosts, aliens, cryptids, the more I have focused on myself and learning about who I am, my income, my friends, my family have all gone downhill. And I have talked to numerous people about this. People who were making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. When they opened up spiritually, and started to learn about all of this stuff, their income went down. Their friends abandoned them. Their family abandoned them. Everything started to crash. So why does that happen?
Well, okay, so let's look at the book of Job. You know what happened with Job in the Bible, right? Like he said, oh, not that you said test me or use me or whatever, but he lost everything. And it wasn't, you didn't lose anything, Dave. You might have lost the income, but you've gained so much more. Why does this happen to people that seek spirituality? Because it's like, come on, really? You're spiritual? Show me how spiritual you are. Why do you need that money? You know what I mean? What would you do with that money if you had it again?
This month, I would buy this month, honestly, I would buy groceries.
Are you serious? You can't even afford groceries?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I talk for the many. I talk for the many. I talk for the many. Okay, but I can tell you this. I've been on stress leave for 2.5 months. Okay, which means my income has dropped probably $2,000. And a lot of people are doing that. I know there's a lot of people up in my area right now who are on stress leave because of the forest fires. Okay, maybe they lost everything. Maybe they came close to it. It was an emotional time. There is a lot of things going on, right? Mm-hmm. You stress out about things. I stress out about this show every day. People think that the minute we sign off the air that I go to bed. I'm usually up until West Coast time, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. Thinking, what can I do differently? The wheels are always turning. Always turning. They have to be. But seriously, there's a lot of people, Corrine, who are struggling. They are working their asses off every day, and they just can't seem to get that break.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. But you're not one of them. You can afford food, and you have a house, and you have a beautiful family. I'm not saying that you should not complain, but you really shouldn't complain. I can understand people that cannot pay their bills, that are getting thrown out of their apartments or houses. I understand that. And that's, what I'm saying, Dave, is you kind of got to really count your blessings sometime. You know what I mean? You agree with that, don't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to be thankful for what you have. I look around and I have things that a lot of people don't. I do. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm very thankful for that. I do give thanks for that. But sometimes, giving thanks, it's much like, I'll bring this up. It's much like thoughts and prayers after a gun massacre. What does it really do?
Yeah, it does a lot. Believe me. Prayer is very powerful. I have always believed that, and I believe it even more now. You think, like, there's some people that I know that are really sick and going through a lot, and I pray times 1,000 for them. And Shar, you're one of them, okay? So I wonder, Dave, if I didn't pray for people, I wonder how good they would be doing. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's that. I do pray, and I think prayer makes a difference.
Well, let's talk about prayer for a minute, because we are going to get into dimensions and everything along those lines. We will hit that topic tonight, but let's talk about prayer for a second here, because there are a lot of people who pray, whether or not you believe in God or a higher being or a higher consciousness, whatever you want, whether it's Allah, Brahma, Buddha, God himself, Vishnu, whoever it is, whoever you pray to. There are a lot of people who are saying, I'm praying and I just never hear the results. Is it a matter, in your opinion, of not hearing the results or not understanding the results of prayer?
Not wanting to understand the results of prayer. Every prayer is answered, not in the way you imagine it to be or want it to be. And that's it. That's it. Every prayer is heard and answered. And it is answered in ways that you can't sometimes even fathom. Why did this happen the way it did? What in the... But, I mean, they're answered. And then, of course, the prayers never end, right, Dave? We keep praying. You walk, you pray, everything. So, excuse me. So, I mean, yes, you're being answered, and then it is up to you to decipher the message you're getting from the answered prayer. When I pray for my father to keep living, in fact, he did keep living. I mean, we never die. And so, I mean, if you look at things with your soul instead of with your personality, they're going to make more sense to you. Do you understand what I'm saying there?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. And you don't have to be religious. I honestly pray every night. I do. Yeah. And you know what's funny is here's an interesting one for you. And I don't mean to keep bashing my ex-wife tonight. Okay. Even though I kind of enjoy the sadistic satire of it all, but it's funny because the more I pray for her, the angrier she becomes. Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah, you know what? I was actually thinking about this the other day, Dave. I said, because, I have an ex, and I said, the more I pray, the further away you get. Meaning, like, I'm praying, like, oh, he's going to wake up and he's going to understand, and, and maybe he'll come back. But the more I pray, the further away you get from me. In other words, yeah, the prayer is answered in the way that he is not coming back. So your ex gets more angry the more you pray for her. She may be feeling that, Dave. She may be feeling like, I don't want his kindness. You know what I mean?
You know what? I recall one instance with her where her and I were in an absolute argument. This was about 2 years after that I caught her with another guy. And we were in an argument over our daughter. And I literally watched her face morph. And I will never forget standing on the driveway and she is yelling at me, and all of a sudden her face started going really red and her temples kind of pushed inward. And that was the first time ever that I actually looked inside of someone or looked at someone and thought, my God, I'm looking into the face of a devil. And I'm not saying that just because it was my ex-wife. I remember it scared me. I worked with a gentleman named Daryl, who I was very close with, and we were fishing buddies and everything like that, and he happened to be an ordained minister as well. And I called Daryl up and I said, Daryl, I need to talk to you about something. This just happened. And he literally told me, he goes, your wife is possessed, or your ex-wife is possessed. And I went, what? He goes, if you saw that kind of evil, there's something inside of her that is not good. And I went, wow. But I will never forget that. Like, even just mentioning, the story behind the way her face compressed and her temples kind of went inward. And I swear to God that she could have brought hellfire and brimstone down on me that day. And here I was standing with my fingers in a cross saying, you can't get me, devil woman, but honestly, Honestly, have you ever come across that with someone where you've looked into someone and their pure evil side came out?
No, I can't say that I have, but my mother used to talk about an incident that happened where a person's face changed. I mean, it totally morphed, like just like you said, not because the person was angry, but because she saw another face on the face of this guy that they were talking about, or something. I don't know. Something took over this guy that she was sitting at a kitchen table with, and she saw the other features superimposed on this guy. And it was strange. And anyways, no, I've never encountered that. I think that, like someone just mentioned in the chat here, that her guilt, your ex-wife's guilt, probably gnaws at her, Dave. Like,
Yeah. Yes, her
like,
guilt also gnaws at my wallet.
right. But if she was seeing the world through her soul instead of her personality, which is very hard to do, obviously, you need practice, but she'd say, "You know what, Dave, I'm really sorry I screwed you over." But her personality is this kind of like bitter woman, and she just is not going to let go of that. She's not going to see beneath that, and I don't know. I'm sorry you have to deal with that.
Yes.
That stinks.
Brent says in the chat room, I haven't come across that, but I was possessed at one time. Scary crap right there. So I'm asking Brent right now, did you date my ex? Because that would happen right there. Yes.
I'm interested in seeing why Brent thinks he was possessed.
I don't know. Brent needs a hug, apparently. He needs a hug. He's laughing right now. He's like, it could be. I don't know. But either way, when it comes to learning about your own spirituality, what's the route people should take? If you were to set a playbook of what you would want someone to do if they came up to you and said, I need to find out who I am and what I'm about, what would be your playbook?
I would say, first of all, understand that we are not what we own. Okay, so in other words, like someone just said something about ego. Try to put your ego on the back burner because it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter in your whole existence, in infinite existence that we do have. Also, like I just said about prayer is a very important thing to me. Also, I'm not saying meditation, but I'm saying that because we can meditate doing many things. We don't have to be sitting in one position for 30 minutes and, with our palms out. Meditation is many things to many people. We can sew, we can read, we can, there's a lot of, you could take a walk. There's a lot of ways to meditate. Appreciate the silence and have silence in your life. Also, what else would I tell them? Realize who you are. You got it. We're born here forgetting where we came from and what we're capable of. We are miracles. All of us are a miracle. And it's like we can, yes, by personality, I mean ego, John. But, we can change our atmosphere. We can change things. We have that power. And okay, so if you looked at me, you'd be like, well, what gives her the right to say this, Because I have changed my atmosphere. It's like I don't carry things with me from the past. I really don't. It's like I'll talk about it till my friends are so sick of hearing about it, and then I just let it go. I don't carry things with me into the future. I think about what I want to surround me. Beautiful people, friends, true personalities, true to themselves, and knowledge. I want knowledge. I want mystery. I want romance. And, I am fortunate enough to experience a lot of this in my life, everyday life. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. What would you tell them, Dave? What would be your top 3?
My first one, I would say step back and look at yourself in the mirror. And can you look in the mirror and tell yourself that you actually like you? If you can't, then you got some work to do. If you can, God bless you for it, because a lot of people can't. Number 2, what I would say is that you have to, keep your head held high and look for little victories in your world if you're down. That's what I have to do. So when I am, for instance, down like I am tonight, I look for something to pick me up. It is like the natural high in order to bring myself back up to that level where I feel valued, that I feel liberated. Mm-hmm. It could be something that you've never tried before. It could be, changing your hairdo. It could be changing the way you cook. If you have a bowl of cereal, maybe you try fruit on it for the first time. You know what I'm saying? It could be anything little in order to spark that run of good luck. And number 3, I would say, is confidence. Is that you may have to become introverted for a while in order to weed out the seeds that were causing you problems. And, as much as it becomes tough to bring or allow other people in, the people who you do allow in, you won't be as vulnerable to them.
Right.
So that would be mine.
Oh, and the other thing I would say is this. I'll tell you a little incident. I was at the beach this summer, and there was a little girl there. She was 6 years old, just like my niece, Ava. And Ava was going from rock to rock in the water. And those rocks where we go are very slippery. So she got to one rock and then meandered over to another rock a little ways away. And I said, "That's great, Ava. How did you get there?" And she said, "It was by magic." So the other little girl, her name was Lauren, said, "There's no such thing as magic." So I stood up and I said, "What did you just say?" You have to, I said, not that I was going to beat the little girl up, but I was like, right, Lauren, you're right. There is no magic if you don't believe in magic. You have to have all the faith in the world and believe truly in your heart there is magic. And there is magic. I know there's magic. I've experienced it. I've seen it. I've made it happen. You got to believe with all of your being that there's magic. So that would be another thing I'd add to that list.
I believe in magic, honestly. I still, even though, well, I hope there's no kids listening, I still believe in Santa Claus. I'm 44 years old. I'm the dude who puts the friggin' plate out. I'm the guy who eats the cookies, drinks the milk. But that magic of it is still special. It is.
It is.
Be honest with yourselves here. Listeners, I can't see if you raise your hands, but I hope you do. How many of you buy yourself one of them chocolate calendars to count down the days until Santa comes? Those Advent calendars. Who does that for themselves out there? Okay, I do. This guy does. I am more than willing to say I still get myself an Advent calendar because I want a chocolate every year or every day leading up to Christmas. And by God, I'm only 28 days away from that Advent calendar and eating those stale, gross chocolates that are so horrible, but nonetheless, you're proud to eat them. Sonny is with me in the chat room. Sonny is with me. And, Sandra uses the Advent cases of beer, which is always good, too. But I don't drink. All right? Yes. Kevin's in. Come on. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Ghost of Ben Turpin on Twitter says, there are chocolate calendars? My life has been wasted. Come on, man. You've never ever had an Advent calendar? Go to Walmart and get an Advent calendar. You'll see some of your good friends there. You might get some good videos,
Right.
Go get an Advent calendar. Seriously. It's worth it.
Totally.
Exactly. But that's the little type of stuff. I mean, if you don't believe in the magic, you're not going to be able to enjoy the little fruits of the labor. You know what I'm saying?
No. And the thing is, like, there's a quote, and I can't remember who said it, but everyone wants to believe in magic, but nobody wants to. Wait, I'm sorry. I can't remember exactly what it says, but something about everyone wants to believe in magic, but then when it comes, they don't see it. And it's like, and that's the whole thing. It's like, no, there's not going to be any magic in your life if you don't believe it exists and you don't believe you're ever going to see it or it's never going to happen to you. I mean, that's just the way it is. And when we get into the dimensions talk, I'll tell you a lot more about that too, about what you know and what you think and and really what is. I'm not saying, hey, I'm not the reality guru here. I love fairy tales and all that, but I mean, there's things that we block from ourselves on a daily basis. Let's try to bypass that. Can we do that? Can we do that for a week? Just a week and see what happens,
Mm-hmm. I think
all
it's
right,
possible.
So here's the quote. You know what the issue is with this world? Everyone wants some magical solution to their problem, and everyone refuses to believe in magic. Thank you, Jackie.
That's our Jackie for you. That's our Jackie right there.
Mm-hmm. Lewis Carroll said it, the author of Alice in Wonderland.
All right. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks for showing us up there. Appreciate it. Love her. Love her. I hope she's laughing right now.
Jackie's a cool chick. So is Jennifer.
I know. Remember, we all Skyped one night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's right. And then you guys got me reading you ladies, and I was like 100% wrong, and made me feel like a total schmo,
You got a lot of cool people in chat, I gotta say. I mean,
yeah.
All these people. I mean, Dave, how can this not make you happy? You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not going there at all. I'm not going there at all. These people who are in the chat room, they are special. The fact that anybody finds me entertaining is, they must have some sort of sickness to them, but nonetheless,
Right. Now, I don't think people know that I'm actually Coco in the chat room. I am Coco.
Yes, and on the air we call her Ms. Giggles. Exactly.
And Marie is so cool. Tessa's so cool. I mean, oh my God, I love all these gals.
I know.
And Teresa, all of them.
They are awesome. They are awesome. Corrine, I'm going to get you to go on hold here for a couple seconds as we're going to hop out for our first break of the night. Corrine de Winter, award-winning author and poet. You can find all of her work on Amazon.com or purpleplates.com. She's a real gem and a good friend, and we're going to be talking dimensions right after this on Spaced Out Radio. I hate it when Corrine is on. She always makes me say things I don't want to say. Damn you, Corrine. Damn you. Shaking my fist at you. But it's a good show nonetheless. Corrine will be here for the full show tonight. And we will be back with hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio right after this.
365 days a year, we're in the field, investigating UFO sightings, talking to alien abductees, and visiting secret military locations like Area 51. We're UFO Seekers, official partner of Spaced Out Radio. Follow our daily search for the truth at ufoseekers.com or like us on social media. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
From coast to coast to coast, Blacklight Uncharted is taking on the paranormal across Canada. From ghostly hauntings to the UFOs flying above in conjunction with MUFON Canada, we're closely investigating what's going on in the northern skies and checking out the apparitions that walk among us. Check out our videos right here at Spacedoutradionov. We want to know your thoughts, we want to hear your experiences, and we want you to share your stories. The answers are out there, and we intend to find them.
Would you like to become one of our space travelers? All you have to do is click on the Space Travelers icon at Spacedoutradionov. For only $5 a month, you can get access to some great prizes, as well as private monthly shows, newsletters, and a members-only section on our website. Become a space traveler today.
It's paranormal news at its finest. Welcome to The Encounter. At Spacedoutradionov. The Encounter online is SOR's trusted news source for everything weird and strange going on around the world. This is news editor Eric Markham. Our team of journalists are scouring the planet for those strange stories that rarely make the mainstream. No fear-mongering or fake news here. Head over to Spacedoutradionov and encounter The Encounter.
Want to learn more about aliens, cover-ups, conspiracies, cryptids, and the paranormal? All you have to do is tune in S4 as we take over the Spaced Out Radio night, starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, each and every Saturday night, right after Spaced Out Saturdays. Hi there, this is Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. Join me, Corey Ruiz, and friends as we discuss the hot topics of the night. It's fun, entertaining, and as dark as the night. Find us at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, this is Canadian paranormal investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
Are you an experiencer? Have you had run-ins with strange creatures you can't explain? ETs, Dogman, Bigfoot, werewolves? They're enough to scare the daylights out of anyone. Hi there, I'm Butch Witkowski from your 4-Cop. And on the last Monday of every month, you can listen to me and the host, Dave Scott, talk about the weird and the strange being reported on Spaced Out Radio. I'm going to bring my investigations and sources, you bring your experiences, and we'll figure out the rest together. Strange Days on Spaced Out Radio. Come tune us in at spacedoutradio.com.
Want a place to share your experiences without feeling judged? We have the place for you. If you've experienced sightings or contact with ETs, ghosts, cryptids, or UFOs, and you'd like someone to confidentially look into the matter, just fill out an SOR Sightlines report. Our goal is to help you get the answers you need to the experiences you've had with our professional team of researchers. Your information stays 100% confidential. The SOR Sightlines report. Fill out your experience today only at spacedoutradio.com.
Psychic Sundays, spiritual communication, ET contact, Sasquatch in your backyard. We will have it all on Cosmic Passport with me, Elizabeth Anglin. Each Sunday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, at spacedoutradio.com, I will take you on a journey of enlightenment. The goal is learning from the soul on out. We'd love it if you joined our experience, Cosmic Passport, heard Sundays at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you interested in advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Head to our website at spacedoutradio.com and click on our advertising tab. There, You will find an assortment of ways you can get your product out there with us, from radio commercials to banners and social media. Have a product you like our hosts to endorse? We can do that too. Visit spacedoutradio.com for more details.
From British Columbia to Northern California, Pacific North Weird has Cascadia covered. Check out our feature videos at spacedoutradio.com, where I, Vincent Zunza, and my super sleuth partner Alexandra Sullivan track down the weird and strange stories from around the Pacific Northwest, from Bigfoot to Mel's Hole and everything in between. This is what makes life exciting. So why report the normal when we can report the Pacific North Weird right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Don't have time to listen to Spaced Out Radio live? Wherever you are, the car, the office, the shower, or even if you're traveling, we're right here for you. Each Spaced Out Radio show can be found on iTunes, TuneIn, and on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio Show. It's the perfect way for you to catch up on our shows. For more information, just head over to our website, spacedoutradio.com, and tune in to us today.
Welcome to Spaced Out Saturdays with me, Dave Cruz from Beyond the Strange. Our weekly feature on spacedoutradio.com will take you around the world discussing everything from the paranormal to the latest conspiracies from the top guests in their fields. We won't leave any story uncovered. Spaced Out Saturdays at spacedoutradio.com starting 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern.
The views and opinions expressed by tonight's guest and topic of discussion do not necessarily represent the official policy or position of Spaced Out Radio, Spaced Out Weekend, Spaced Out Radio Limited, its hosts, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with this broadcast. Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. And hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag SpacedOutRadio. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the second hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Great to have you with us. Tomorrow night on the program, our Keith Andrews is back. I know. People on Twitter will absolutely love that. Our Keith Andrews with the ET Connection starts at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time at spacedoutradio.com. We want to welcome in everyone listening in on WQEE 99 Rock the Key down in Noonan, Georgia, home of The Walking Dead. We are live as well on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans, and over 160 countries around the world. Great to have you with us as well. We are also live on KTLK, The Fringe FM, Renegade Talk Radio out of Las Vegas. And if you're listening in on Revolution Radio, remember the Double R Machine is a donation station financed by you, the valued listener. Head on over to freedomslips.com and donate today. Bill Cardwell has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Concupiscence. Concupiscence is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, space travelers, as Bill sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Now, if you want to follow us on social media, you can do so on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio if you want to connect live with me during the show as well. You can give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. You can also join us in the SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. We're also on Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. You can also subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel after tonight, Spaced Out Radio. It's not Spaced Out Radio Show anymore. We had to get rid of that one, so make sure you go and subscribe to Spaced Out Radio after today. I would appreciate that. And also, you can listen to us on iHeartRadio in the United States, TalkStream Live, tune us in on TuneIn, download and subscribe to our shows on iTunes. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including joining the SOR Space Travelers Club for $5 a month. You can rock out to some Bumblefoot, shop at our Spaced Out Radio store, read The Encounter online, or watch great video footage from UFO Seekers and Contact TV, everything at spacedoutradio.com. Tonight, we bring in award-winning author and poet Corrine DeWinter from CorrineDeWinter.com, PurplePlates.com, and goodlookingbostonchicks.com. Corrine, how you doing?
Okay.
Boy, I put you on the spot with that one.
Yeah, that was a new one.
Yes. Absolutely.
Especially with the word of the day, concupiscence, right?
Concupiscence.
Is that what it is?
Concupiscence.
Okay.
Could be either. The pronunciation could be either. Concupiscence. It's just the way it rolls, man. Just the way it rolls. And for those of you asking what the password is for, the answer is exactly.
All right. Now, Dave, I must ask you, have you had William Buhlman on your show?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. Because he is from the Monroe Institute, and I believe he was one of the subjects that they made the movie Men Who Stare at Goats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's brilliant. So a lot of what I've learned about dimensions has to do with Buhlman's work as well.
Just to clarify, BTO said, I said good-looking bust. I said good-looking chicks. Boston, good-looking Boston chicks. Boston, as in Massachusetts. Head out of the gutter, man. Head out of the gutter. Either way. Forget about it, as he says. Either way.
That's cool. Joe has had him on. Joe's had William Buhlman on.
You know what? I do have to give a big shout out to Joe Roop from KTLK. If you haven't listened to his show, Lighting the Void, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, this dude is talented. You know, he really is talented. And, you know, he's probably going to shake his hair because he's got nice hair, too. You know, he's probably going to shake his hair and say, oh, man, I am not. I'm just growing, you know, trying to do something right. And he's very humble, like a Canadian, for, you know, except he's from Arkansas. Because I don't understand how you don't pronounce the S in Arkansas at the end. He's from Arkansas. So either way, the main thing is, you know, make sure you check out Lighting the Void as well on Tuesdays and Wednesdays before Spaced Out Radio and KTLK, The Fringe FM. It's very, very good show. Very good show. Anyways, we want to talk dimensions with you. Okay? Now, for most humans out there, we know about the first dimension. You know, it's like a piece of paper lying on the ground and you write on it. That's one-dimensional. Two-dimension would be two sides. And, you know, people are said to live in the third dimension. And now we keep hearing that we're getting more into a fourth dimension. I don't really get the whole dimension thing, and I realize there's a lot of people out there. Is there something to it?
Oh, there's definitely something to it. I mean, we exist. Parallel dimensions coexist with us always. And, I mean, there's just so many other dimensions that, okay, so what I do, Dave, when I started learning about dimensions, I realized the term dementia, which is what, you know, is Alzheimer's, dementia. So when I used to sit with my dad, and of course he had Alzheimer's, he would say, and I'd be sitting right next to him at the table, and he'd say, there's Corrine outside. And I was like, oh, even though I'm sitting right next to him. And I said, what's Corrine doing? And he said, she's with her boyfriend. And I said, okay. So then I would say to my dad, it's kind of sad to me to repeat these stories, but I would say to my dad, but Dad, I'm Corrine. I'm sitting right next to you. And he would just like look away. The thing is this, dementia shows us just, you know, and people say it's an illness. It is an illness, but it also proves on another level that they are dealing with other dimensions that do exist. Okay, so, you know, the parallel world, like the one right next to ours, is 99% identical to our world. but we're at a different etheric level when we enter it. So if you do an out-of-body experience, if you try to go out of your body, you're going to experience another dimension that is almost exactly like this dimension, but it's a tiny bit different because there's no, you know how in our world everything's physical and it's got a thick substance to it. We're living in a very heavy dimension on Earth. So we feel the heaviness with everything, you know, even ourselves. We're like, oh God, you know, I can't get up or whatever. But the other dimensions, anything goes, really. So this is the physical world. And then every other world outside of this world is not a physical world. But there's many of them. And there's many of us also experiencing things in other dimensions at the same time we are experiencing things in this dimension. For instance, I am sitting here talking to you right now. In another dimension, you could be, who knows, you could be my brother. You know, we could be at a beach. I mean, anything goes. But it's also very important to commandeer, when you do an out-of-body experience, to commandeer the experience you're going to have by letting go of fear and thoughts of any hellish thing happening. That is all important when you're doing an out-of-body experiment. So, you know, we can all like do this by raising our vibrations. You can do that with purple energy plates, by the way, and raising, which will raise your vibrational rate. And then we enter other dimensions with this raised vibration, and we can have a good time. People that have had near-death experiences and have had a hellish time, mostly it's Catholic people, because we're taught, you know, I was raised as a Catholic, and we're taught to fear hell, you know. So, but I firmly believe that there is no hell unless you believe there's a hell. If you believe you belong in hell, then you're going to encounter a hell. If you believe in Jesus and you believe in angels and light and perfection and beauty and nature, that's what you're going to experience. So this is why I say, as above, so below. So we can imagine everything there. Why can't we change our minds here into believing, you know, in a beautiful world? If we had a collective unconscious of people always imagining a peaceful, beautiful world, it would work. However, not everyone is on board with that. Not everyone imagines a peaceful world. Like people we just talked about that live in a black hole. So anyways, what questions do you have about dimensions?
Well, I mean, this leads into Tessa's question in the Spreaker chat room about what do you think then about the Mandela effect? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? Do you think it's just people's imaginations? Because, I mean, let's face it. We all know that elementary school test where two people start a story, and by the time it gets to the end of the classroom, the story is totally changed.
Right. I believe that, I mean, I haven't researched the Mandela effect quite extensively. However, it totally makes sense that the Mandela effect would be taking place right now. Because I do believe, and I know, you know, you're going to say, well, no, not you necessarily, but a lot of people say, oh, when people say the veil is thinning and, you know, we're so close to the other side, we're closer than ever, and it's poking through. I do believe this because we know the Schumann resonance. You know what the Schumann resonance is, right, Dave?
Yes, but I can't remember.
Okay. So the Schumann resonance is the resonance of Earth. For hundreds and hundreds of years, it remained at one stage. One. I can't remember what it is. I want to say it's like I can't remember. So if someone knows out there, please put it in the chat. Okay, so for hundreds of years, we had the same resonance. And then in the last 3 or 4 years, it has tripled. So that means the vibration of Earth has tripled or more, it might be more at this point, so that we are becoming of a higher vibration naturally because the Earth is changing and we are on the Earth. So this makes sense to me that, yes, the veil is thinning. The veil is almost gone. And those of us who are more sensitive can see this happening. And this is why sometimes I read about the story of this guy that was saying he woke up one morning and he looked out his window and he saw a bird on a branch, and the bird was glowing green. It wasn't a special kind of bird. It was just a sparrow. But the sparrow was glowing green. You know why? Because like poking holes through wet toilet paper, the veil is really becoming thin and things are breaking through. And Robert says the veil is obsolete. So, I mean, these type of things are happening. This is why you see aliens. This is why you've had these encounters. And this is why so many of us, not all of us, of course, but so many of us have had these strange events happening. And being able to hear spirits and see other dimensions and tell what we're seeing in a timely, accurate manner to who we're giving a reading to, perhaps, because, I give readings to people and things like this. This is all happening right now. And it's a very special time. I know every generation says this is a special time. But I truly believe this is a very special time period in history. And we're going to look back at this time period and say, wow, that was the awakening, for lack of a better term.
I'm not as sold on the Mandela effect as I was a while ago. I think there's just too many different, coincidences. I mean, there are some things that are strange. I can tell you that. Probably the strangest one was I only thought there were 4 people in the Kennedy assassination limousine. But there's 6. Other people have claimed that there was only 4. So there is a lot of things out there that you think, what? Is that really true? Did it really change? I'm just not sure that it's just, like I said earlier, that we're not, it's not like an elementary school where, when they teach that game on how rumors get started, where you have one kid say the color of the sky is blue, and by the time it gets to the 30th pupil, it's purple haze, much like Jimi Hendrix. So there's a number of ways on where it goes. And I just think that when it comes to the Mandela effect, it's more that than it is anything else. I mean, there are things that I don't remember, but I don't know. Do you think reality has changed? A lot of people would believe that in 2012, when the Earth was supposed to end on December 21st, 2012 with the Mayan calendar, even though they forgot to collect the, leap year days and put those in, because leap year wasn't around when the Mayans were around. Do you think that maybe that they calculated it wrong, and now people are looking for excuse and say, it wasn't that mankind was ending, it's just we did a dimensional flip or a timeline flip or something along those lines?
No, I think that the Mayan calendar was only set to a certain time period, and that's when it ended, 2012. I don't think they went beyond that. I'm not sure if we can find any proof in the Mayan calendar about the end of the world. I think that people took that, as a symbol that the world was going to end, when in fact it was just when they decided to end the calendar. I can't say, but Okay, so Tessa's saying some people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the late 80s or early 90s. And then he became president, of course, after he was released from jail. I also thought Mandela died in jail. And then, of course, he didn't. I was like, what? But I mean, this is the collective unconscious creating something perhaps that isn't really there. So has reality changed? Yes, it's changed. It's changed with our unconscious mind putting out things. Like, shoot. I mean, there's lots of things, Dave, you probably can think of when you were young that existed, or, that you could ask anyone else about it and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, So if you're talking about the Mandela effect, yes, it's, it definitely could be a real thing. And I think it is. But we all have different memories, of course. I remember 4 people in the Kennedy car also. So I don't know, And like Robert just said, Buddha said, with our thoughts, we make the world. Indeed, Robert, we do. And this is why I'm saying it's so important what you're thinking, because your thoughts are creating, which I want to get into thought forms too when you're ready,
I get that, and I can realize that, but I do believe that we are living in multiple dimensions at the same time. I think there is something very strong to that, realistically, as far as there only being any proof besides pseudo-proof over that, it would make sense that other dimensions and other realities are continuing along the same timeline as we are. Have you ever had any examples of that happening?
You know what? That's interesting. No, I can't think of anything of my own life, but I can cite one thing that did happen to someone I know. Preston Nichols, who people might know from the Montauk Project. I met him through Peter Moon, who you've had on your show before. Preston Nichols was at a fair when he was it was like a carnival something, when he was about 36 years old. He met his future self at the fair. The gentleman came up to him and said, and he looked like him in the future. And Preston said, who are you? And the man said, I am you in the future. And they actually, I don't know how long he spent with this gentleman, but they actually got DNA, and it was the same DNA tested, and it was actually the same DNA, supposedly, because I don't know if you know who Preston Nichols is. He's a little odd. But anyways, I've met other people that have met their own selves in different situations, which I find so interesting. I think that's just so interesting. But yeah, for myself, have I ever felt like I had encountered something like that? I can't think of anything right now, but I'll let you know as the show goes on if I think of something.
BTO has a question saying that he knows for himself that the 4D is like an onion, but my question is, or his question is, do you know who exists within the layers of fourth dimension? And if so, is it about ascension rather than ascension?
No, I don't think it's about ascension. I think it's not even about ascension. I think it's just a different realm. And once again, I'm going to cite what you believe will happen. What is your mindset? This is why Buhlman cites that it is important now to get in touch with your own self and your soul. Because when you move on, he says that we do not lose our personality. We go with our consciousness. And if you're angry or jealous or whatever, you're carrying all of that with you. So get with it now on this dimension before you move on. Because when you move on, you're taking all that with you. And, okay, so, and I wondered if this was, what he said in terms of you take it with you, the angry, I don't believe in demons. Unless you think there's demons, you're not going to see demons, So, but I believe that, that we can commandeer seeing from what we bring with us. I mean, and we're going to bring those things with us. Does that end up that there's like angry ghosts? Yeah, sometimes there's malicious ghosts, or spirits, I should say, not ghosts. Spirits, yes, there's angry spirits. There's people unsettled. There's people stuck, just like they were stuck in life,
Have you yourself ever seen yourself or been part of another dimension?
Well, yeah. I mean, we all are part of another dimension when we dream. That's another dimension. I don't know do you remember your dreams, Dave?
Only when I get taken.
Seriously? Not every day?
No, I couldn't tell you what I dreamt last night or the night before, but I sure as hell could tell you the last time I was taken.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, I will say this. I've mentioned this only like once or twice ever on this show. A couple of years ago, before I started this show, I actually do believe that I met myself in another dimension. And this is what has made me think about this topic numerous times, mostly while I'm not on the air, trying to figure out what it was that actually happened. And that night, I remember all of a sudden, Mrs. SOR and I, we were walking along this old street, much like you would see in like Main Street, USA kind of thing, old buildings, there was no street lights, but there was signs lit up in the buildings, and it was raining and very dark, dreary night. And we crossed this road and saw this guy standing on the other side of the road. And when we got up to that guy, he was me. And I was having a conversation with myself, and that guy was dressed all in black. His hair was soaking wet. Good-looking guy, but very angry. Very angry. And, the only thing I remember him saying is, don't get to know me because you wouldn't like me very much.
Ooh.
And it was like everything that was evil about me was in that realm.
Wow.
Like I recall something about that where he said, he goes, I would love to kill you, but I can't.
Ooh.
Yes. And it was a strange situation. And then basically it was, get out of here before I change my mind.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like a parallel type universe situation or different dimension or whatever it was. And I think I built up enough credibility through this show for people to understand that when I tell you I don't remember my dreams, I don't remember them. Unless they are either extremely vivid with something strange going on, or maybe they're really happening. I don't know. I really don't know. I can tell you this, every time I dream of aliens, I know I'm being taken at that point.
Right.
But with this one, it was completely different. Nothing I'd ever experienced before, nothing I had ever experienced since. I don't know if I would want to experience that again, but it did happen.
Right. Yeah, well, that wasn't a dream. You know what I mean? That's why it happened. I mean, it wasn't a dream.
Absolutely. I don't think it was, but I can't prove that.
Right.
Catalina's like, Dave, I never knew. Taken by aliens? Dang. Where have you been, Catherine?
Well, Dave just talks about it on every show.
Where have you been hiding? My goodness. But you know what? I will never, ever forget running into myself. And like I said, I don't know if it was a dream. It felt extremely real. It was extremely, I don't want to say terrifying, because it wasn't terrifying, but it was extremely intimidating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, I've only ever really remembered, a handful of dreams my entire life. And this one was totally out of the ordinary from what I'm used to.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I believe, because, there's dreams that I have that are much more clear, and you remember them forever because they were more than a dream. They were actually experiences, and somehow outside of the physical world, but still we're experiencing them. It's another reality that we're experiencing, which I believe is what happened to you.
Quite possibly so, but how does one tell? How does one figure out if they've been able to realize whether it's a dream or whether it's reality?
Well, I think you have to go with your instinct with that, I'm not sure unless you could do something that would show, like, parts of my dreams always come out the next day in my living and in my waking life, but I don't know how we could prove that. I don't know how you could prove that it was an experience and not just a dream.
Well, I know there's a lot of people out there who have probably experienced other things in the dream fantasy. How do you tell people then how to tell the difference between dreams and reality?
I say if it really, because you can tell. I mean, when you're dreaming, if it's like, like, for instance, I still remember a few dreams I had where I was talking to my mother or my father, and they were so vivid that I still remember them. And it doesn't matter, like, people ask sometimes, well, I was dreaming about the dead, but then there were living people there too. It doesn't matter. That doesn't discount that it was a real encounter. Because living people are going to be in your dreams. I mean, they could be, they're dreaming too at the same time. They could show up, or they could just be in our thought process. And they're not, like, if you went up to them, they couldn't really talk to you. But the people that have passed on, they're really talking to you and they're holding your hand. You can feel them and the difference. That's all I can say is that when it's a real encounter, you know instinctively that's real. Like, you knew that your alien abductions were real. How did you determine that they were real and not just a dream?
See, that was easy for me because, in the dream, or let's say it was a dream where I was physically harmed. When I got back, that area was still harmed. So, for instance, when I got the implant in the back of my head was very, very sore. I had a headache for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The last time when I was taken about 3-4 weeks ago, same thing. My stomach was sore. Right?
Right.
So that way, I really knew that there was some reality to it, rather than thinking, oh, well, it's just a dream.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, you had physical symptoms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I mean, as far as other things are concerned, okay, when I was a kid, or not when I was a kid, but after my grandfather died in 1995, my uncle and I had the same dream for a couple of months of my grandfather showing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that told me that there was something to it. You know what I'm saying? However, you know, jumping over to a different dark dimension that looks like a scene out of the original Batman, you know, with Michael Keaton, you know, very dark and dreary. I mean, to me, that could be, you know, my mind playing tricks on me. And I'm just not convinced, although it does make for an interesting story. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And that's the struggle, Corrine, that a lot of people have because they can't figure out the difference between reality and what is happening, maybe on a different dimensional level, compared to what is happening on a dream state.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know, I feel like you are having experiences rather than dreams. I'm not saying I'm like, you know, this whatever seer, but I think you are having experiences because it does not make sense that the only dreams you would remember are getting taken.
Quite
that
possibly.
Doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, you know?
Quite possibly.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That is something that, you know, I still question. And I think, you know, for those of us, I think it's healthy to question it, whether or not it's reality or not. It may drive us nuts. It may, you know, drive us to a place where we don't understand or bring in too many other questions. But do you not think that there is the ability to you know, maybe try and decipher what is real and what is fake?
Yeah, you can try to decipher all you want, but like a lot of, you know, things that are miraculous, you're never going to get the proof, Dave. You know what I mean? We could, you know, listen, there's still people that don't believe in life after death. There's still people that don't believe that we, you know, continue to live after we leave this planet or this, you know, realm. I mean, but we do. But trying to get these people to believe, some of them, it's like, you know, so are you ever going to find hard proof? Scientists can't seem to find hard proof. I don't know why. I think they're just like pushing it under the rug. They don't want to know the truth. They don't, you know, because they can't explain it. They've got their box measured out and that doesn't fit. So, I mean, it's really up to us to discern what is happening. You know what I mean? What's really happening to us personally. Not, you know, we can't, like, I don't know. It's like, that's more of the going within that I talked about previously, you know? Like, meditate on it in some respect. Find out. You talk to plenty of people that are intuitive. You know, find out what happened. You know, have you ever gone under hypnosis?
I tried once about 3 months ago. Literally did not work with me with the lady who was working on it. She actually got me under, and she literally had me under for about 15 minutes, and my guides pulled me out. Seriously.
Well, what happened exactly? What do you mean your guides pulled you out?
My guides were getting frustrated by the process that she was taking, and they literally said, "Screw this! You don't need it. We're taking you out." I said, "No, relax. Let's just see where this goes." And they're like, "Okay." Like 5 minutes later, they're like, "Nope, you're done." And boom, I snapped right out of it. And the lady actually who was doing it, very kind lady, awesome lady. She actually said that the reason why it didn't work with me because apparently I was more spiritually advanced than most of her clients.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't know what to take that worth, whether that was a polite screw you or whether that was reality. Do not know.
Right. So Amy's got an interesting thing here in the chat. Here, it happened to her last week. Her mom was dreaming about these people. Then the dead people she was dreaming about, their daughter contacted Amy out of the blue for the first time in 50 years. Then that night, the dead people's dead grandson started contacting me. That has to be more than a coincidence. And how do you feel about coincidences, Dave? Do you believe there's no coincidences that...
I thought I was doing the interview here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Corrine, what do you think about coincidences?
I love them. I love synchronicity. I love, which you could also call coincidence. But synchronicity, Jung termed as 3 or more things happening in close contact that were happy events. That, like, in other words, happy, upbeat things that happened more than 3 times in a close contact time period. I love synchronicity. That's one of the things that makes me really happy when that happens. So I believe that what happened with Amy was not a coincidence. It's like this synchronicity, like the universe is sending us a message. Like, yes, look here. See what's here.
Let's get to BTO's question. He is asking, he recently shared his analogy about the glass bottle entering this universe and being shattered, where the biggest pieces is one's soul spirit, while the other pieces are yourself existing as galaxies, solar systems, planets, and all life forms. His question is there a reintegration process, putting the pieces back together in order to return to one's own universe beyond this universe? Do you feel that we are stuck and recycled within this universe? And is there really just one omnipotent singular source who created us all?
I don't think we're recycled, although some people do have that theory that we're recycled. The souls are recycled. That we just like go on. I kind of don't believe that. Is there one omnipotent source that created us all? That's a good question. I don't know. I want to say no, but I'm not sure.
I'm a God guy, so I'm going to say there is, but that's just me. I could be wrong. Maybe the Mormons got it right. To quote South Park, maybe the Mormons got it right. I don't know.
I think not.
Now, I'm getting a lot... Hold on a second here. I'm getting a lot of harassment over the original Batman. When they recreated Batman, I know Adam West was the original Batman. Okay? Michael Keaton was when they recreated it. That dark, dreary Batman that has that evil side. That's the Batman I was talking about, not the Adam West Batman. And just so you know, it's concupiscence. Concupiscence is the password. I got in trouble for that. Concupiscence. This is turning into just one big messy blog. That's what this is. My goodness. Concupiscence! Oh, hope that suits you well, Cardwell. Concupiscence. So, yes, that's where we are.
Okay, so let's talk about thought forms. Do you know anything about thought forms?
I'm the interviewer here, remember?
I'm sorry.
So, you don't mind if I host my show, do you, Corrine?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Because because realistically, I mean, I could, you never invite me onto your show as a guest.
Yes, I did.
Once, like 3 years ago.
Okay, well, I guess it's due then. We'll get you on.
You've been on here more times than that. Just saying. Not very fair. Not very fair. But thought forms. What's your opinion on thought forms, Corrine?
Okay, so thought forms, like say, as an example, how to create a thought form. Say my ex I kept focusing and focusing on him, okay? And I just like, my whole waking hours were like spent thinking about him and how I wanted him to still be here. I could essentially create a thought form, which is crystallized thoughts, is what a thought form is. I could create a thought form of him. Okay. Now, there's a woman, I'm not going to say her name or situation, but there's a woman who had lost a loved one, a husband, and she has created a thought form of her husband. But it's not really the husband, just as it wouldn't be really my ex that I had created to be here. It's a thought form that she has created. And this thought forms can actually do things that human beings can do, such as shut off lights, lay in a bed with you, lots of things like that. So this woman, she doesn't want the thought form to go away. She believes it's her real husband. And he shuts off lights and he does things like this. And and then there's another instance I can tell you about where a young man lost a friend from committing suicide. Let's call him Warren. So Warren lost his best friend who committed suicide. And Warren has a drug problem. So Warren kept calling on the friend that passed over. Pretty soon, after such obsessive thoughts of the friend that killed himself, Warren had created a thought form of his best friend. That thought form also has control, because after you've created a thought form and you keep paying attention to it and keep feeding into it, it becomes stronger and stronger. Now, this particular person, Warren, has, he's actually being told what to do by the thought form. He has created the thought form, but the thought form is now telling him what to do, which is really Warren creating the conversation. Okay, do you understand this? So it's like thought forms are a lot of what we would call demonic activity. It's not demons, it's not hellish figures, it's not monsters, it's our own thought forms. Such is the case when we pass on. We think we're going to hell because maybe we did something wrong. Maybe we were too greedy. Maybe we were jealous. Maybe we tripped somebody. Who knows why a person would have a guilt feeling? So they actually go over to the other side with this thought form, and the thought form becomes this big, scary monster. But it doesn't have to be that way. So, do you understand what I'm talking about when I say thought form?
So it's almost like you're creating your own tulpa or something along those lines.
Exactly, Dave. Exactly.
See, I pay attention. When I ask good questions like that, I pay attention.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to use that term also, tulpa. Yeah, and they're also called Ka in Egypt. There's many names for the thought forms. But I believe that this is what happens, on the other side. Like, as I said earlier, there is no hell unless you believe that there's a hell. And, and it's almost the same in this life. It's like, people that can't see beyond that wall that they see in front of them, they refuse to try to go past that wall, or to believe that there's no, finally believe that there's no wall. You create your own hell. You really do,
We only got about 5 minutes here before we got to go to a break. So people then, by what you're saying, they're the ones torturing themselves. It's not that they are being tortured by the other side.
I believe so. GMO food, yes, Catalina. I hear that 100%. Anyways, that's another show. But yes, I believe we can work our way out of hell. Did you ever read the book What Dreams May Come by Richard Matheson?
I can honestly say I have not.
You must read that book, Dave. Now, there was a movie, What Dreams May Come. One of the best books I ever read is that book, Richard Matheson. He also wrote many of the Twilight Zone episodes, the first really, in the first and second and third season, that were so good. Like the guy, William Shatner in the plane. He wrote so many excellent Twilight Zone episodes. This guy was amazing. He just died a couple of years ago. I had the privilege of meeting him, and was able to tell him that was one of my favorite books I ever read. But anyways, that's such a great book to read. What Dreams May Come. Much better than the movie. But that's all about this kind of thing. His wife, the guy who killed himself, his wife killed herself. She ended up in a hell, and he had to go down there and get her out of the hell. But everything she had created, she was afraid of spiders. She was afraid of a dirty house. She was in like this other dimension, Dave, that was a dirty, dingy house, had spiders crawling all over it. So she was in this, and he had to go down and get her and bring her out of it. Yeah, What Dreams May Come. Richard Matheson is the author. So that's one of the best books ever. And that's like, geez. I mean, it's like, I think it came out in the 80s. I read it when it first came out. But anyways, an awesome book. So I believe we have way more power than we're willing to admit to ourselves, because then when we admit we have the power, we have to take that responsibility on for making a happy life. We don't want to do that. We want somebody else to help us with it, right? We don't want to be responsible for a happy life,
Why be responsible when you don't have to? It's so much easier to put it on someone else.
Exactly. Go
ahead. No, you please.
No, I say, get to it, man. Start recreating, and as Amy Kavanaugh says, redecorating hell, because you don't have to live there.
But a lot of people will say that's the black cloud hovering over top of them.
All right. So how can you disperse a black cloud? Of course, there's no real black cloud, but how do you disperse the black cloud hanging over you? You put light in its place. That's what you do. You put light in the place of the black cloud. We can be free. We can have better lives. We can have great lives. We can have love, lovers, money. We can have this stuff, I'm not here to be like a public speaker, but it's just important that, as Tessa says, create light, create light.
I could see that. I could see where that would work. So when you're creating light, as we got about 90 seconds here before we got to go to break, when you create light, is it an immediate effect? Because everybody wants everything right now.
Cloud bursting. Yes, Kevin. Is it going to be right now? Listen, you didn't get to this place overnight. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. Begin to do it.
Well, I was hoping for a little bit more than that.
Well, I'm saying, how do you know unless you try? How are you going to know when it's going to happen and how fast?
But you bring up a good point, though. A lot of people don't know how to try anymore. Their focus is not on themselves.
What's it on? I think it's too much on themselves. First of all, go out and donate your time somewhere. Go do something at a soup kitchen or or a animal shelter. Go do something for someone else. That's when I'm most happiest, is when I'm helping someone else.
All right, you hold on right there. I'm going to take a break here on Spaced Out Radio. Final break of the night. Corrine DeWinter is our guest, award-winning author and poet. You really got to read her stuff. It's all over Amazon. Highly suggest you do. CorrineDeWinter.com, PurplePlates.com as well. I'm sure she has about 45 different other websites, but we're just not going to mention them. We're going to get more into self-one, self-being, self-assured, selfish. Lots of self coming up in hour number 3 on Spaced Out Radio. We'll be back with more right after this.
We're getting strange on Saturday nights. Hi there, this is Dave Cruz, and each Saturday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, I will take you on a tour of the weird and obtuse on Spaced Out Saturdays, from aliens to Sasquatch and every tinfoil hat in between. We got you covered. Join us at spacedoutradio.com for Spaced Out Saturdays. See you there.
Not ready for bed on Saturday night? Right after Spaced Out Saturdays, hop on over to S4 with Corey Ruiz and me, Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. With S4, there are no limits to what we try and uncover. From government conspiracies to helping clean up the paranormal, no topic is safe on S4. We get to the heart of the matter, of the subjects you want to learn more about. So tune in on S4 starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, only on SpacedOutRadio.com.
Have you had an experience you can't explain? Would you like someone you can trust to look into it? We have just the place. The SOR Sightlines Report is the place for you to find answers. Whether it's Bigfoot, UFOs, Dogman, ghosts, aliens, or anything strange, the Sightlines Report will get you connected with one of our expert researchers to find out what's going on. All of your personal information is kept 100% confidential. The SOR Sightlines Report, a place for you to find the answers you need. Only at SpacedOutRadio.com.
Hi there. I'm Butch Witkowski, lead investigator with UFO Cop. On the final Monday of every month, you can listen to me and host Dave Scott on Spaced Out Radio's Strange Days. We're going to get to the heart of the matter when it comes to what's happening out there. People are seeing and experiencing things from ET contact to Bigfoot, and I want to hear about it. Your experiences are what we investigators need to help solve these unknown mysteries. So tune in at SpacedOutRadio.com to the final Monday of every month from Butch Witkowski's Strange Days.
This is Eric Markham, news editor for the Spaced Out Radio's The Encounter Online. We have put together a great team of writers and journalists from all over the world to bring you top-quality paranormal stories, from alien encounters to the latest conspiracies. You won't find any of that fake news here. True stories and top-notch reporting as we look to bring these experiences to the mainstream. The Encounter Online, only at SpacedOutRadio.com.
Do you want to know the truth? Do UFOs exist? Are aliens real? Are the governments hiding the biggest secret in history? We're UFO seekers, and we're on a hunt for the truth. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along with us as we journey across the United States, visiting UFO hotspots and alien hotspots, trying to document the UFO phenomenon. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Patrolling the Pacific Northwest, we are always on the lookout for the strange and unassuming stories that real people are experiencing. Hi, I'm Vincent Zunza from Pacific North Weird. Me and Alexandra Sullivan have teamed to bring to you those odd stories that never seem to make it into the mainstream. Stories so weird that will leave you scratching your head wondering, is this real? It's as real as it gets with Pacific North Weird. You can watch our videos right here at SpacedOutRadio.com.
Become more intimate and interactive with Spaced Out Radio. Join our Space Travelers Club with your new membership. For $5 a month, we'll provide you with special access to the website, monthly prize draws from books to psychic readings, along with monthly newsletter, private interviews, and more. Sign up today to be part of Spaced Out Radio's experience.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Don't have time to listen to Spaced Out Radio live? Wherever you are, the car, the office, the shower, or even if you're traveling, we're right here for you. Each Spaced Out Radio show can be found on iTunes, TuneIn, and on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio Show. It's the perfect way for you to catch up on our shows. For more information, just head over to our website, spacedoutradio.com, and tune in to us today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Strange creatures lurking in the night, the sounds of wood knocking in the forest, odd happenings right out of a fictional world. These are the reports I love. Hi there, this is author Ronald Murphy, and I would love it if you join me and Spaced Out Radio host Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month on our journey into the unknown land of cryptozoology at spacedoutradio.com. From Mothman to Frogman and everything in between. Hey, they don't call me the crypto guru for nothing.
It's Cosmic Sundays with me, Elizabeth Anglin, in Cosmic Passport. Let me take you down a 3-hour spiritual journey where we will get into everything from ET contact to Psychic Sundays. It's a journey of listening and learning together with some of the best professionals in their fields. You can tune in to Cosmic Passport at spacedoutradio.com every Sunday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern.
The views and opinions expressed by tonight's guest and topic of discussion do not necessarily represent the official policy or position of Spaced Out Radio, Spaced Out Weekend, Spaced Out Radio Limited, its hosts, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with this broadcast. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and hashtag Spaced Out Radio, and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Great to have you with us. Tomorrow night on the program, we finish off the week with the first Friday of the month. That means it's time for our Keith Andrews and the ET Connection. So if you have questions about aliens, ETs, UFOs, time to bring him to the table for Keith as we will get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern time at spacedoutradio.com. We want to welcome in everyone listening in on WQEE 99 Rock the Key down in Noonan, Georgia, home of The Walking Dead. We are live as well on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and over 160 countries around the world. We are also live on KTLK, The Fringe FM, Renegade Talk Radio out of Las Vegas. And if you're listening in on Revolution Radio, remember the Double R Machine is a donation station financed by you, the valued listener. Head on over to freedomslips.com and donate today. Bill Cardwell has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Concupiscence. Concupiscence is your password. Concupiscence. 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 Whatever it is, concupiscence. Concupiscence is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as Bill sets the password each and every night, right here on the mighty SOR. The password is Tractor. Tractor is your password for tonight. Now, if you want to follow us on social media, you could be like Ben Turpin and use hashtag Spaced Out Radio or follow us at Spaced Out Radio. You could also give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. You can also join us for live chat in the SOR Space Travelers group every night. We're also on Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. As of tonight, so after this show, subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. We had to get rid of the other one. It was compromised, as they say, compromised. So we've started a new one. I hope you check that out. We are also on iHeartRadio in the United States, TalkStream Live. Tune us in on TuneIn, download and subscribe to our shows on iTunes. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including joining the SOR Space Travelers Club for $5 a month. You can rock out to some Bumblefoot, shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. You can also read The Encounter online or watch great videos from UFO seekers and Contact TV and so much more at spacedoutradio.com. Corrine DeWinter is our guest tonight, talking dimensions, self-improvement, psychic ability, tuning into yourself. Her website's CorrineDeWinter.com and PurplePlates.com. She's an award-winning author and poet. You can find her work on Amazon. She's very highly rated. Corrine, welcome back.
Thank you, Dave.
Right before the break, we were talking about people spending time on themselves, or to help themselves and to help others. And I agree with you. It needs to be done more. We all say we're going to do it, but how many of us actually do? I mean, it is something that is self-fulfilling. It helps create value and self-worth, not only in yourself, but in the people around you. And positive energy goes a long way, no matter what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you can get positive energy simply by going to purpleplates.com and getting a purple plate. But anyway, but I mean, I think that just people need to realize what their power is. God did give us the ability to understand who we are and to create a life that we want. And I know it's like, I think like, would I have the same thought if I was born in Somalia or I was born in Iraq? Maybe I wouldn't, maybe I would be not even saying anything about any of this right now. But the fact is I was born here and in this incarnation. So I just wish that the light would spread. I that's all I can say. And I pray for that every day. I pray for the earth every day and every living thing on the earth. So anyways, but Dave, let's talk about the dismal realm. One of my favorite subjects.
Okay.
So
what is the dismal realm?
Okay. The dismal realm. Now, there's a guy, Mark Macy, that wrote a book called Spirit Faces. And in this book, Mark Macy's amazing. He's an ITC guy, trans communication, whatever it's, whatever ITC stands for. I forget it right now. But anyways, he's amazing. So he said he went on many trips to the afterlife, the other realms in the afterlife. And one of the things he encountered was a bar. And this bar, people, you could still get drunk at the bar. And some of the people there would actually walk into, you know what a walk-in is, right?
Yes.
Some of the people would walk into bodies at a bar on Earth to feel the drunkenness. And the dismal realm is also a place where people who feel like they're not ready for the higher realms of more peace and love, they just feel like they're not ready for them. So, in the dismal realm, he also noticed that there was a pope, and I can't remember which pope this was, not one that we would recognize, but a long time ago, this pope deemed that animals did not have souls, so you could treat your animal any way you wanted to. Now, in the afterlife, this certain pope was shoveling crap in barns, not because he was, ordered or made to do these things, but because this guy felt so guilty that he said that the animals didn't have souls. So much like when I was in school, I had a teacher that was saying, what grade do you think you deserve? And that's how I see the afterlife. Like, what grade do you think you deserve? Well, I think I deserve whatever, you know what I mean? So that's what this certain pope decided. That's what he deserved. And that's what he was doing. So I think it's just important that we actually, not to sound like a hippie, and I often do, but that we do love ourselves, we respect ourselves, we respect others, no matter how different they are, and we just carry on in that manner. But I find that dismal realm very interesting, I mean, in a way, it's like I kind of want to go to the dismal realm for a little while, but not really. But but anyways, if you guys get a chance, read that book, Mark Macy's Spirit Faces. Very, very interesting.
When you are dealing with the dismal realm, is this a place that you feel that people are lost or searching for answers but can't find them? I'm a little confused by it still.
Okay, so the dismal realm is where, so say I was a person that died that had maybe raped someone, or I had just wasted my whole life taking drugs, gave up my daughter, something along those lines, then you would probably automatically go to the dismal realm, which there's also a man named Jürgen Siwi. It's like a strange spelling, Zwcie. Jürgen is Jurgen, and he's written about many of these dimensions. So if you look at his books, you'll see the same, kind of the same explanation here. But so if you feel like you're guilty or you're still attached to money or material things, you're probably going to end up in the dismal realm, and you're going to be hanging out and nothing will seem that bad, but it's going to be, not an optimal place to be after you die. So, I find that so interesting. I don't know why, Don't you find that interesting?
To me, it sounds like hell or purgatory.
Right. Which maybe some people would call it that. But I mean, sometimes people don't want to go on. The 16th century mystic, Emanuel Swedenborg said, when we die, we all go straight to the top of the source. Okay. And that would be the very highest realm of spirit. He said, but so few souls are there because they feel like they don't belong there. So they float down to the other levels. Now, by the same token, I'm going to say there are thousands of different heavens. And we know that there are different heavens simply by something in the Bible. Also, St. Paul said, I am in the third heaven. That's a part of the Bible. So we know there's a bunch of different heavens. And so, I mean, we all, I think that if I went to the top of the source of all creation and spirit, I too might not feel very comfortable there. So I would float down to the other levels, perhaps. But anyways, it's just an interesting note, that he said that. I just find that very interesting too, because we're not all comfortable. So we land where we're comfortable. And in the same vein, someone that was born in China or somebody that was born in Iraq or, Baghdad or wherever in a foreign country, they're not going to be in the same space that we're in the afterlife. They have their own space because it's what they believe, You know what I mean? Now, Amy, it's very interesting. Amy Kavanaugh, who's in the chat room, her husband was dying. And the husband was so afraid to die. And Amy actually went and not on purpose, it just happened, that she went to that Catholic heaven and saw Jesus, okay, in which she would see Jesus because that's what she had learned her whole life, and that's what her husband had learned too. And the husband thought he was going to hell, but he wasn't going to hell. So we know now he's not in hell. But anyways, so it's interesting, like that, these different realms that we think we belong to or whatever. But I mean, your thoughts are so powerful, Oh man. It's like, I can wait to die. Believe me, I don't want to die tomorrow or anything, but I just find this so interesting. And am I going to be as passionate when I'm on the other side? Am I going to be as passionate about my causes, my work, my whatever? I don't know. But that's why I find it interesting what Buellman says about we take this stuff with us. And, we're not cleansed simply by dying. We're not absolved simply by dying. So, anyways, did you ever think about that, Dave? Like, what would happen? Like, where would you go? Or
I used to actually have very strong panic attacks about death. I have had them since I was 18 years old when a friend of mine was killed in a car accident. And, it was something where it really opened up my eyes to mortality. And it scared the living daylights out of me. And then when it really flared up for me was about 18 years ago when I had just become a dad. And I remember holding my little girl, and she was about 4 or 5 months old, and I remember saying, Daddy's going to be with you forever. And then it just absolutely, like a snap of a finger, hit me, and I realized that I just lied to my little girl because I'm going to die. And I won't be there forever for her. And that set me off. And I had panic attacks up until the day I saw the angel of death. And then when I saw the spirit of Mrs. SOR's grandmother leave her body. From there, they happen every now and again. Like, I can't have a death talk with someone. I could feel it. Or I can't have a talk with people of science about, that we're one and done, or the universe is infinite and there is no God or anything along those lines, because it'll set me off. I know the triggers. But for the most part, I no longer have panic attacks ever since I saw the spirit leave the body.
So did you realize that you don't die, you just leave the body?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's very intriguing, on what a lot of people believe. It's very intriguing on what the experiences are. But yeah, death has been one of those things that absolutely freaks me out. And to be honest with you, I don't even like talking about it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. They don't want to talk about it. I love the subject of death, but I hear you. You know what I mean? It's not comfortable. It's not exactly comfortable for me either, but it's like, I'm just fascinated by it, as I cackle away.
Yes, our resident cackler, Corrine DeWinter, our guest tonight. I do have some questions piling up here. Let's get to Andrews on Twitter. And he is asking, if the veil is thinning, then could there not be those in high places who are really trying to control or guide reality?
You know what? I think so. I think that obviously, we know there can be no light without dark, but I believe that the dark gets very antsy when there's a lot of light being spread and given, and things like this. I believe that they don't like it. Whoever they are, I'm not even sure who they are. But yes, there's bad aspects of this earth, of course. I mean, geez, all the stuff we see on the news, like it's like daily tragedies here. So yeah, they don't like it. They're getting antsy. They act out. They do more things. But these more and more events that have been happening, it does have a meaning and it has a purpose. It's like, yeah, it's saying to those of us with love in our hearts, what are you doing? What are you doing to help this? Come and help us. Help this situation. That's what I feel, What do you think, Dave?
It's a deep question. It is a deep question because I'm still trying to figure out if I actually buy into this whole veil process, because normally I haven't. I think it is what it is. I think that everything is written down with the way I believe. So my own personal belief, if I take the journalist hat on, put my own personal Dave hat on, I don't really believe in the veil. I think as people wake up, I don't think it's because a veil is thinning. I think it's because, there is, people are susceptible to opening their eyes. And if they open up their third eye, they're going to see a lot more. Has nothing to do with the thinning veil. At least that's my opinion. Right?
Right. But do you believe that there are forces that are dark that are having more power now?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, don't forget, a lot of those powers that are out there, if you're talking governmental, people can change that. Okay? People can change what is happening. They've just forgotten that they can change. Okay? They've forgotten, or they don't want to be a part of the process. So when we sit here and say all elections are rigged and all of this, I mean, yes, the Democratic National Convention was rigged. We know that. Okay. But where were the Democrats calling for Hillary's head for rigging the election when everybody knew it? And then it takes a book that came out recently, as in a couple of days ago, to say that yes, it was rigged. Okay. Or if you didn't like Donald Trump, or you don't like Justin Trudeau up here in Canada, or whoever, vote. It's real simple. When you have less or around 50 to 60% of the population voting and 100% people complaining, it's never going to get any better. So people do have the power to vote and change that. If you don't want the dark times, especially if they're in politics, vote them out. It is simple. It is that simple. Right? The people still have the power.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think our power has been taken away. Not to get into politics, I don't want to. But a lot of our power has been taken away. The people are silenced in a lot of ways now. Maybe not you in Canada. I love Justin Trudeau. Who doesn't love that guy?
Every Canadian that doesn't live in a metropolis can't stand him.
Really?
Really. Really. Prime Minister Unicorn is having a lot of troubles up here right now.
Why do you call him Unicorn?
Because I'm a conservative.
Are you jealous because he's handsome, Dave?
Hey, I am a solid 5.6. A solid 5.6, and I'm happy with that. Okay? I'm very happy with that. No, I just don't appreciate a prime minister that, number one, doesn't appreciate the people in the West. Number two, does not appreciate the history and the culture of Canada. And he wants to form Canada into a unilateral nation that really people cannot afford it to happen. And he doesn't care if it means taxes. He doesn't care if it means, you know, overloading cities. It doesn't matter to him. As long as Toronto, Ottawa, and the province of Quebec are taken care of, he doesn't give a care about the rest. He's proven that many a time. So us here on the West, for the majority of us, we don't have much respect for him. And for people who were in firefighting zones, like I was this year, like the people of Fort McMurray were last year, our Prime Minister didn't show up until weeks after. Weeks.
Right.
Right? So it's not all rosy up here with Prime Minister Unicorn. So.
Right. Well, I mean, I think you'd rather be in Canada than the U.S., right?
The only reason why I can't get into the U.S. right now is because of the stupid laws. Otherwise, I would be probably living in Las Vegas right now. I love Canada. Trust me, I'm a huge Canadian guy. I love Canada. But put me anywhere. If it wasn't for the way the borders are now, I probably would be living in Las Vegas.
Okay. Interesting.
Get to another question here. This one from Trip. He says, due to your mindset, maybe aliens wipe away what they think is an abduction, but your mind is switching memories. Would you agree with that statement? This comes about an hour ago when we were talking about aliens.
Do you think that your mind was wiped?
I think at points, sure.
But you still remember the gist of it.
I remember parts, not all.
Right. Okay. I don't know. I mean, at this point, aliens are getting kind of brazen. You know what I mean? I think. And I don't think they really care what we think is the other thing. You know, I don't think that they're like looking to exactly hide. You know, I think that they're, we're here, man. Don't you know we're here? You know?
They know all too well. Let's get to BTO's question. How far have you, Corrine, been through the dimensions of this universe? Have you reconnected with aspects of yourself scattered throughout the universe and rediscovered yourself beyond it?
Well, I can't say I've gone to many dimensions. But, I mean, through trials and sorrow, I have gone into the hive and I've come out with gold. Yes, I've discovered who I am and I know who I am.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Let's get to Robin's question. He is asking, some people buy crystal quartz, believe they will be in heaven or hell or other dimensions. Do you think crystal quartz helps direct where you're going?
I think crystal quartz is like the one stone or crystal that actually can help with many things. If I was going to buy one stone, I'd buy crystal quartz. I think you can program that crystal quartz in any way you want to do whatever you want for you, for your own personal life. I love crystal quartz. I love it.
Oh, by the way, on the whole Trudeau thing, because you like Prime Minister Unicorn?
Yeah.
Right? He apologized and paid a known ISIS terrorist $10.5 million to say sorry that he was tortured at Guantanamo Bay. And gave him his Canadian citizenship back. That's how much he respects our country.
Yeah. Well, the GQ looks are coming off now, huh?
Yeah. They're getting a little rusty. Rusty. Yeah, we had to formally apologize and pay him. I think he's paid out like $30-40 million in restitution to these idiots who went over and fought for ISIS under the previous conservative government. They had their Canadian citizenships stripped, but he reinstated all of their citizenships and paid them restitution, saying, sorry, you can be good Canadians now.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay. I had no idea.
Yeah, so he isn't so rosy as what a lot of people believe. And
right. He looks good in a bathing suit,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
Exactly. Exactly. Prime Minister Unicorn. He's awesome. Let's get to BTO's question here. Actually, I just asked it. I got to scroll up. Sorry. Crystal quartz. We were talking crystal quartz. Do you believe the gems and the stones work?
Mm-hmm. Definitely, but they don't work as good as a purple plate. But, I mean...
Nice plug.
Yeah, the purple plate starts out as a crystal, okay? It's bauxite to begin with, which is aluminum, which becomes aluminum. So, anyways, I'm just saying that, yes, the purple plates are awesome. People charge their crystals on the purple plates. They're awesome. If you don't have one, there's no risk. You get it. It doesn't work for you. You send it back. You get your money back. So anyways, I'm sorry. I just have to say that. Because every time people start talking about crystals or organite, I'm like, man, you guys have no idea. You know? I mean, really. So that's all I want to say. Sorry. But I do believe some crystals can enhance things, yes.
Is it how they resonate with the body?
Mm-hmm. It is the vibration of the plate, the vibration, the harmony and vibration that is put into the plate interacts with the body to balance, heal, and, you know, actually boost your immune system in the process too. Like, I can't make medical claims about them, but they are amazing. And what, you know, it says expect a miracle. Indeed, you can expect a miracle. And I'm so proud and so blessed to have this business that helps so many people. And as I've said before, on many occasions, if you cannot afford a plate, contact me and I will help you out. Because everybody should have this energy.
Your energy is enough for this show, lady. Your energy is enough. I'll tell you, though, it is nice to have the old group in the chat room tonight with Amy and Jennifer and Jackie and yourself. I do appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ladies, how are we? When it comes to the crystals, though, the naturalized crystals, stepping away from the purple plates for a quick second, how do these stones, whether it's, you know, from the ground or from a meteorite, how do they resonate with the human body?
Well, as I just explained, so there are a few places on Earth that have this, you know, resonating energy. Palermo, Italy is one of them. The Ganges River is another. So it is this vibration that is tuned in with the human vibration, okay? And it like connects and puts things back into balance. For instance, when you start to feel depressed, Dave, and I know you don't use your purple plate, but I'm telling you right now.
It's right beside me on my bed. It is right beside me, so don't even start this stuff, lady.
But it will raise your vibration. And who doesn't want their vibration to be raised?
I got nothing to raise in the middle of the night.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But anyways, and oh my God, there's so many things the purple plate does. I mean, clearing all the negative crap from food, because we can't all afford all organic food. your water that you drink, just anything you put on it is going to change the vibration. And it's going to be more, it's going to raise the vibration. It's going to change it into a, more positive, more energized vibration. And, some people, in fact, I had a grave digger. This guy, his job was being a grave digger. And he said, I got a purple plate from you. You got a large plate, the 12 by 12. And he said, I got to tell you, I started using that. And I had, and he was a grave digger. So he said, I had to put it in my trunk because it was giving me too much energy. I couldn't sleep. That's what might happen at first. But, after repeated use, maybe a couple of weeks or so, your vibration changes. And it actually will be changed forever to a higher vibration. So you get used to it, and pretty soon, you're like just at a higher vibration. But, the purple plate, oh my God, there's so many uses for it, so many wonderful things it can do. And like I said, I just, I don't ask people to believe me, just order one and you'll see for yourself,
Do not try and eat off of it. It doesn't have the sides of a plate.
No, but people do take them to restaurants and put their meal on it, on a plate, on their regular dinner
Do you do
plate.
that? Do you do that? Be honest.
No, because I have one on my body. And I already, I put all my food, I don't go out to eat, first of all, hardly ever. And all the food I have from the grocery store is put on a plate for at least 12 hours. And all of that, is cleared. It's cleared, it's brought back to its original state, and, it's cleared. So, it's just a wonderful thing. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. I think you have an addiction there. Where else are we going? We got like 20 minutes left. Where else do you want to go?
Okay, so...
Fire away. You've been doing the journalism side of this. You've been doing the hosting all night, so I've just been kind of following along.
Okay, so let's, we talked about the thought forms and how some people are afraid of demonic activity. And some people that actually do the out-of-body stuff encounter demonic activity because that's what's in their mind, is that they're going to encounter something bad. So that happens. So if we brought this into this reality, and we know that our thoughts matter, our thoughts actually are creating our reality, the collective unconscious, as Carl Jung said, creates most of our world, okay? So let's all actually try to frickin' be positive and send love to the earth. Why can't we do that? Can we get together and do that? Can we do it on a daily basis, every couple hours? Can we think yes, we're sending good energy into the core of the earth? That's where I'm at right now. I believe that it's important. It's all important right now in this world, with everything going on and everybody freaking out and, Jesus. You in Canada don't experience as many traumas as we in America, which is great. But
hold on here. You in Canada, I'm offended. You in Canada, you people in Canada, I'm offended.
But Dave, it's true.
I need a safe. Hold on. I gotta find my safe area here because I'm offended. Hold on. Where's my safe area again? Just looking. Okay. I'm here. I'm at my safe house right now. Okay. Go on.
No, I was just saying. It's just a fact that you guys don't experience as many tragedies as we do here in America.
That is true. That is true. Great Britain taught us well before you, and you guys left way too early.
So you think Great Britain is treating you well? That they've taught you well?
Oh, this could get so political. So political right now. So political. Hey, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm going to change the topic, because in the end, this is my show there, DeWinter. My question for you in regarding psychic ability is, everybody says everybody is psychic, and I think there's a lot of people who are non-believers who don't believe that for a second. How do you convince someone to believe that they actually do have intuitive abilities?
Okay, so let's do it right now. I'm going to ask Teresa if she can type in the chat room. Teresa, tell me something about myself that would be a psychic. Well, wait a minute. I think Teresa is a psychic. But let's take Teresa. So, Teresa, tell me something about myself that isn't obvious.
Well, you're going to be waiting about 30 seconds because there is a delay.
Okay.
So
But
while we're waiting for Teresa, I'll get to some questions here. Andrew, the population of Canada is about 36 million people. And didn't Michael Moore do a movie about why it's safer in Canada? Yes, and Canadians didn't like it because he gave away all of our secrets. Universal health care, gun control, things at work. Yeah, gave it all away. Gave it all away. I don't know. I'm just teasing right now. Just teasing. But, and yes, there is great white sharks on the west and east coast, not on the north coast, though. Teresa says you are a believer.
No, I don't like Justin Bieber. Is that what you meant? Yeah, anybody right now. Give me something that I don't know about myself. Or no, that I know about myself but isn't obvious. I have a big mouth. That's obvious.
You have a collection of musical items.
Like such as what?
You have posters and albums, and I believe you have your father's
you know
instruments.
That, Dave.
Well, you said tell somebody who knows something about you, damn it. I'm just following the rules here.
I know, but I said that wasn't obvious, and you know that,
You only date men with hair lips?
How did you know that?
I'm psychic.
No, that's not true. You want a shark with a laser? You like silverware? No. You lost someone close to you not too long ago? Yeah, but who hasn't? I don't like exercise, Catalina. I do walk.
Your towels are puce in your bathroom.
No, they're not. No.
Damn it, I thought I had it.
Okay, so let's pick someone out in the chat room that I can give a reading to right now. Pick someone, Dave. I'm not going to pick the person. You pick
Tessa.
Them.
Tessa's up.
Okay, Tessa. Okay. Let's see. Tessa. Okay.
Tessa.
Well, she just found some news. No, I'm kidding. I was about to say she just found some news scrolls. No, okay, so Tessa. Tessa Nicole Thomas Peterson. Tessa. Okay.
Ron wants to know if your toenails are painted red.
No, they're not, actually. Good try. Okay, so Tessa. Okay, so I'm focusing on Tessa. I'm going into her realm in her room right now. The room she's in. Hold on. Tessa, do you have some print there that it is like it's like older. It's got flowers on it. It's like, I don't know. I want to say it's like, it looks like it's from the 60s. I don't know if it is, but it's like a flower print, like big, big, bright flowers or something. Also, I smell, shit.
There's one for the swear jar right there.
All right, I'm sorry. She made Italian food tonight for dinner. Like I see like chicken parm or something. Did you have Italian food for dinner?
Remember, we're on about a 30, 40, 60 second delay.
Okay, she's saying no, but I love flowers. Okay. Okay, so I feel like she had Italian food. Hold on. I see green, like this old color green in our kitchen. I don't know if it's old color green like that. You know, old 70s green. Is that in your kitchen? Yeah, sometimes this remote viewing works and sometimes it doesn't. Not tonight, leftovers. Okay, so the leftovers weren't Italian. Okay. All right. Tessa. Okay, and also about Tessa, there's a guy that she has dreams about sometime, and I think it was a past lover, but she hasn't talked to him in a while, and I want to say his name. Shoot, it's an A name. Andrew, some A. I'm not sure what it is.
I got an M name.
M? Was it Michael? Michael?
Like a Morgan or something like that.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, the 30-second delay. No green. She says no green. Okay.
No green. But she still has an ugly old color in there, so you're like 74% correct on that.
Nope. She says nope. Shoot. Sorry. Okay. What about, you have a daughter, Tessa? Do you have a daughter?
I think that's who's in her picture.
I see.
That's
really?
Awfully coincidental that you call a daughter when there's a picture of her and her daughter right there.
I don't like to
Son
look
of
at,
a gun.
I don't like to look at pictures, but yes, 3. She has 3 daughters. Okay, is one of them, that's cool, Tessa. One of them named Sandy or Sandra or Lily? I wonder. That's my cousin. She said that's her cousin in the picture, Dave. But there's, I don't know. I don't want to say this, but I mean, I think that there's a, Lily. See? I was right. There's like a pregnancy around you, Tessa. Somebody's pregnant or about to be pregnant.
You never tell a mother of teenagers that, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, way to wake up the neighbors.
But I don't know if her daughters are teenagers either. But there's something to do with a new baby, and I'm not sure who it is. Oh no, she's okay.
Have the talk, Tessa. Have the talk. That's what Corrine is saying. Have the talk.
I'm not sure if it's one of her daughters, but it's somebody related to her. I have my eldest on Depot. What does that mean? Oh.
Depot?
Depot. What's that?
Well, up here, depot means RCMP. But we do. You guys go, I think, depot down there. Maybe military? Is that what that is? Police depot? I don't know.
I'm sorry. I don't know what that means.
That's twice. You owe $2 now.
$2.
That's American money, not this Canadian, not the Canadian peso.
We went from a quarter to $1? Okay. Okay. So
Tessa, we got it. Are you in BC, Tessa? Are you in British Columbia? Oh, BC, birth control. Boy, did I miss that one out. Oh, did old Davey screw that one up?
All right, let's go to Tessa, thank you. Let's go to someone else, see if I can read somebody else. Who?
What about Ron? Ron,
the Joker.
Ron. Okay. He likes the Canadian Football League, so that'll tell you that he only prefers 3 tires compared to 4, which I have to say, me too. But that's okay.
So Ron is in Canada.
Yes.
Okay.
He's in the flatlands of Saskatchewan, which means if you wave at him, he'll probably see you, even though you're in Boston.
I see. So what was the meat thing you had for dinner tonight, Ron? You had some kind of steak or something, did you not? I think he had steak. Here's the other thing. He's got a sister, and he doesn't talk to her. You got a sister and you don't talk to her. Also, Ron, you're not working, Ron? You don't have a job? I don't see you having a job. I don't see you working.
That's pleasant. Just shoot the guy down while he watches CFL football. Hold on. Love says, is that a flat earth comment, Dave? No, that's a Saskatchewan comment. Saskatchewan has 2 roads. One goes up and down, one goes side to side. That's it.
So Ron did have a steak for dinner. Thank you. Do you have a sister that you don't talk to? And also, did you just go buy something? You had to fix something working on Life Only. See, I told you. Did you just buy something for your computer in the last few days, Ron? I feel like you had to fix something on your computer. What else? And also, Ron has an aunt that she didn't just die. You have an aunt that died maybe a year ago, Ron. Patty? Somebody named Patty? Yes, she's killed. We got to get somebody serious to read here.
Well, there's only 3 minutes left, so we're not going to have time.
Okay, all right.
We're not going to have time.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is, we've come to the conclusion tonight that dimensions are weird, you're weird, I'm a half weirdo, and that Skeptic got his real profile back on Twitter, which is always good, because he's more funny rather than his Ben Turpin one. Insider joke there. But anyhow, Corrine, as we start to wrap things up here, when you are writing your poetry or novella, whatever you want to write, how do you do it? Let me ask you that. How do you do it? Like, do you have to be in a mood, especially for poetry? Many people write poetry at their darkest moments, and I've already put a inclusion on my will that when I die, that there are no all of a sudden poets coming out of the family woodwork. It seemed to happen at every funeral. You know, how do you get yourself into that mode where you feel you need to write?
Well, I need to be inspired, okay? And I can be inspired by reading other good poetry. I can be inspired by going to a museum. I can be inspired by a conversation. So until I'm inspired to put that one line down, because from a one-line thing, I can write a whole bunch. I just need that idea, that emotion, that whatever. So it's important that I get inspired. I can be inspired by nature. It's like there's many things to get inspired by. But at this point, Dave, it's like it just drops from me. I haven't been writing a lot of poetry lately, but it's just like when I do, it's just like, okay, so I'm writing down something that I'm thinking about or whatever, and then it just kind of flows from there. I think what I write is important. I think that other people will relate to it. I love my I love my writing, not to be like all weird and stuff, but I love the way.
Well, you're passionate about it, and that's okay. That's okay to be passionate about it. I think it's very good, and you know, the awards that you have won obviously show that your creativity is worth purchasing on Amazon.
I think it is. And I also have fiction on Amazon. That's Valentine's for the Dead. That's fiction.
Still waiting for you to write the Dave book.
Yeah. I'll need some more inspiration for that, Dave.
Yes, it's a deep, dark place where nobody opens that closet up. Corrine, please tell us your websites where people can get information about you and your products.
Okay, so if you guys want a purple plate, go please to purpleplates.com. There's lots of sales and specials going on there. So that's purpleplates.com. If you want to read my poetry, some of my poetry, or buy my books, you can go to CorrineDeWinter.com. And what's my other? Oh, and also, if you know any family that needs help around the holidays, like they can't afford Christmas presents or, you know, something for their family, I am willing to help. I've had this fund since 1996. It's smallworldfund.org. So hit me up, tell me the story, and I'll help you out as best as I can.
Beautiful.
So those are the 3 places you can find me.
Thank you. Corrine, you hold on. I'm going to wrap this thing up. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio. He brings us in and takes us home every single night. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time. Our Keith Andrews is back with the ET Connection. If you are having experiences with aliens, this is the show to listen to. Be a part of it. We'd love to have you in the chat rooms to get your questions answered. We want to thank everybody on this amazing team for being a part of putting this show together, including Amy, Everett, Eric, Michael, Olaf, and Tim. You guys are pretty awesome. But most of all, we want to say thank you to all of you on Twitter, in the chat rooms, listening at home, driving in your car, helping spread the word of Spaced Out Radio. We see it. That's why we keep growing, because together, my friends, we own the night. We'll talk to you in 21 hours from now. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Good night.